So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another scene for Street Magic in New Jersey, I suppose. Where we shall set scene at, well, it's not the Chantry of Salt and Steel anymore, but it's the remnants, relocated, potentially to be renamed. But all the same, it is still the same industrial setup as opposed to an old steel mill. It's an abandoned rail yard that's been commandeered this time for the Chantry. And that means there are a lot of big open spaces and probably some industrial machinery. And if there wasn't before, well, there is now because Tay Tay don't play. Um, we will be setting scene in a portion of the Chantry, an area dubbed lovingly the workshop, which, yes, does involve a nice, cozy little area off to one side for sewing, but that is hardly the only thing one can do in the workshop. There are the various tools, the various clothing, the various weapons, even that Tay Tay has been experimenting with making, as she has gone from fabrics to leather, fiddling with sculpting and carving that she does already for her prop making, and eventually on to just fuck it metalwork. Let's go ham. So there's a lot of workshop, and there's a lot of things that can be made, a lot of machinery that can be used. It's pure, beautiful, artistic chaos. And there, in the midst of the chaos, is the tailor, who has had a night and a, we'll assume, a day off, because bless Rose's heart, she is not 100% necessary 100% of the time, but it's been odd. And Tay Tay's checked in on Charlotte a couple times just to, make sure everything's okay. Because that's what you do when you have a fairly small child that you're not used to being separated from for any length of time. So she's checked in, checked in, checked in, and probably slept in with Sketch, albeit it took a couple tries to sleep in properly. Had a big breakfast, hung out, had lunch, all that, but has finally petered around and honestly probably went into the workshop to grab one thing real fast and then saw something she had been working on, and she's like, I could just do one more step on that, and then got completely engulfed, because that is just kind of how it goes sometimes. So she is sat probably at one of the sewing tables, a couple of straight pins sticking out of her lips as she's fiddling through, and these are some serious pins. As she is pinning together bits of this, bits of that, even has little clamps, much like people will use for large stacks of paper, just to hold the fabric together. Because, well, pinning Kevlar is a finicky thing, and has just kind of gotten lost in what she's doing. The occasional glance up if she hears this or that, but it's just probably humming idly. Has probably reached over and like smacked the phone, smacked the little Bluetooth speaker she's got set up in there, and is just kind of lost in the creative flow.
Sketch himself, he's been a bit twitchy. Like, Taylor would have noticed that a long time ago now at this stage about him, particularly with all the stuff that's coming up. Do you notice he's not bad? He's not like near relapsing or any of that shit. No, he's just pacing. He's around. He's working it out. He's doing this. You know what I mean? It's overeager and over functionality. I'll put on some music because I want you to imagine him going around listening to this. Just imagine that as literally the soundtrack of him just going everywhere. Like, he works out. You can imagine him. He works out a lot more than he normally does. Then he starts going around like, oh, I'm just going to do this, and then I'm doing this, and then I'm doing this, and I'm going to go back and work out again, and I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this to prep. You know what I mean?
All right, let's see what you got here. Ooh. All right, so what else are you doing?
So imagine, that person, like, first of all, he goes and works out, does his usual training routine. You see him in there doing his stuff. Then I'm going to clean this part of the thing that I should have cleaned, but I'm just going to clean it. And then I'm going to go and do this part of the thing that I should have cleaned and I'm just going to do this. And then I'm going to go and, make sure my knives are all sharpened in the workshop. Just do the casual shit. Then I'm going to wander over here and get my ritual stuff ready to make sure I'm ready for the mission. Then I'm going to go work out. You know what I mean? He's keeping himself busy, but he seems just so like, yeah, I'm just going to do everything I can not to think about past stuff that's come up. But he just seems so manic almost. Like over eager to do chores. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's probably on his, well, we'll call it third pass through. He gets like an equivalent 3 strikes on being a little weird. Because you know what? Sometimes he's just got a lot of nervous energy and she just kind of lets him do his thing. No need to, call a lot of attention to it if it's just a brief bit of nervousness. But by the time he's come through the workshop for the 3rd time, all right, something is undeniably up. And so she'll finally, tip back a glance, kind of give her head a shake as she goes from focusing on something very small right there in her hands to, sketch just on the other side of the room as he's passing through. Taking up basing?
He literally does the motion of the GIF. No, I'm fine.
Not a little like seeing one of the guys from Dublin, anything like that. That would be, pretty understandable.
No, absolutely not. No, I mean, again, does that motion of the GIF? You know what I mean?
Me never.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I think if certain things happened, I'd be pretty freaked out. She kind of finally sets down what she's working on, looking over.
Me? Freaked out? What? Nah, I don't get freaked out.
I mean, freaked out is, kind of a generous term. It's a very, very me term for what I'm saying might happen. But, a little bit of understandable caution because you didn't even think Kevin was the real Kevin. And that's kind of been a sticking point in the past, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep. So, if you...
Working for the Hermetics again, which I fucking hated, and I still don't really generally dislike, so that's great,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, nah, I'm fine. What are you on about?
Let's deal with the Hermetics.
There's
Aren't they just kind of nerds?
Just bad experiences, you know what I mean? Bad apples.
Just over there, I hope, or were there?
Just over there.
Okay,
I mean, we didn't see any, and I didn't see any in New York.
I want to say Scott might have been. She kind of idly rubs her chin. But I mean,
no,
nothing.
Just bad experiences. That's all.
Okay. Anything besides, Hermetics and creepy clone and stuff?
Maybe going into a person's mind ain't gonna be easy. Who knows what I'm gonna say?
No, it's not.
Plus,
I glances over.
Twitchy, just uncomfortable. My magic's tricky, you gotta go in there and you gotta go in deep. So if she's been thinking she's like an animal, God knows what I'm gonna fucking find.
No. I mean, if she's been living as an animal, hopefully it would be odd, but she's kind of easing up out of the chair. Probably still pretty cut and dry, simple animal stuff.
Nothing's ever cut and dry when you gotta use mind magic. Nothing. To give her, that's not condescending. It's just a smile. You know what I mean?
There's a little like tug at the lips, like, If she doesn't know. It is not her Kool-Aid.
It's like, imagine different fragments of things, and you have to try and piece them together and make them all align the right way to fully understand the puzzle piece you're seeing.
Okay.
And then imagine, complex things like emotions and memories, and because you're interlinked with them. You sit down across from her, like flip the chair over so you sit in that cool way people do. He thinks it's cool, I know.
She grins as she's just started easing up, and she whips her own chair around. So now they're sitting cool kid to cool kid.
Smirks a bit.
Folds her arms over the back of the chair.
You take both of her hands and like lay them out like directly, so like she can put her hands on his palms, essentially. That type of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine we're interlinked like this. And then imagine, you stretch both his hands out so it creates like a distance. I have to kind of slowly, and you push the hands forward so you both kind of bring the hands closer together and together and together. Then imagine trying to do that to reach each other.
Sounds finicky.
Yeah, that's my magic.
Well, I suppose if anyone's really good at jumping through some leaps in logic.
Yeah, no, I can do it. It's just I haven't done that sort of thing in a while.
Would it make you feel better if you had?
Kind of. Problem is, she's not technically giving me consent to go in there. Do you know what I mean? Which is kind of like a hang-up we have.
And I guess if she's thinking like an animal, she wouldn't really understand. So.
No. I can find ways around it, but it just, at least uncomfortable feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have something in mind. But it will involve tying specific stimulus to triggers, which can encourage and discourage certain behavior.
Are we taking a longer route like that, or are you just, I don't know, trying to see if you can?
It's something I learned. Can't choose what's going to come up in her mind. But once I see it all there, then I can begin to arrange it so it forms a clearer picture. Like decoding the puzzle, like a Rubik's Cube.
I have never been able to solve a Rubik's Cube in my life.
Neither did I when I was little, but when you enter the mind, it's kind of different. Because you can tie things to different things. It's your building block now. It's a dangerous thing. That's why my magic is so respected. Imagine what you could do with that.
I imagine you could do a lot of really wonderful or really terrible things, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
It's a good thing it's you. Tips the head a little bit, a little grin.
This is the gift smile. Oh yeah, you know what I mean.
So just worried you're rusty on top of everything else?
It's not rusty, no. No, it's not that. I know the exact way I do it. I just don't like doing it. Not for the reasons of this. The road I use. That's lean forward and like hold open her palm and like trace his fingers along the little like lines in her palm. That would be like something for you I'd use to trigger positive emotion, bring forth certain things, help you Not be afraid of certain things. Subtly. Never changing you completely. Because if you change them completely, then they'll never be the person that you were again.
Okay.
But it's reminding you of things and giving you a chance to look and feel things again that you thought maybe you forgot about.
Sounds kind of like the reason most people would take a pill to help them with the same sort of things.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like you're stretching past anything that could be chemically done, right?
I just always need to be careful.
Of course.
I don't want to end up like her.
A little bit of a pout-like frown. I never let it happen. She says this with the most extreme confidence, even though she doesn't have any iota of skill when it comes to that particular kind of magic. She just pulls her head up like, nope, I'd never let it happen.
Plus, I'll be able to sense a few things. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to look because something went wrong and it just seems too simple. So I'll be able to sense things about her.
I mean, we could always give her a once-over before you go in. Make sure that
I'll be doing
magically, at least, everything's
I'll be doing
kosher.
I'll be doing like a basic assessment. Yeah, definitely. But no, when I'm in there, there's another thing I can do. I learned it over there. Like fold both her hands. You don't know that somebody's guilty of something. Like you don't know why, but they are.
What, like knowing the truth?
You don't know the truth. They're guilty about something. Might not be the thing they did, but something.
Oh, just like sniffing out guilt in general?
Yeah,
That sounds dangerous.
it is. That's why mind magic has to be so carefully balanced because they could be guilty about anything. That's why I can tell sometimes if people lie or not. So you mix and match the two. That way you do it fairly.
There's a little bit, like the little nose scrunch. She plays the hand a little bit, just wiggles the fingers. I mean, even I could come off as guilty, depending on what I was thinking about.
But it doesn't mean you did anything. You could feel guilty because you ate too much of the fucking cheesecake in the fridge. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Grins. That is a definite possibility.
Like I said, it doesn't mean like eternal damnation. No, it could be anything. But I pick up on it. You know what I mean? But say if you're doing an interrogation, right? Trying to figure out somebody's a technocrat and you sense a guilt. Springs to mind, doesn't it?
Guess so. Jeez. Mines are. She finally gives her head a little shake. Too complicated.
They are.
1 million neurons firing off whenever they feel like it.
That's why I never do anything until I ask. Because it's so fragile. Beautiful, but fragile.
Oh, head tip. Is it beautiful?
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. It's
the very center of your entire being. Every thought, dream, emotion, impulse. That's where it comes from. Your mind.
Yeah, I guess so.
So imagine, say we're at a rave, right? We're dancing. And suddenly you feel this rush of excitement in your body. You just don't want to think. You just remember all these good times that you had. And you just Dance. Imagine how good that feels. How free you feel.
And you know what? I'm going to assume this is before they've had the chance to have
Yeah.
their night out. So there's like the most adorably skeptical look, like, I don't know.
Like I said, Cult of Ecstasy isn't all just serious, edgy. No. We celebrate life and the expansion of that. Chaos is so many different possibilities. Just because chaos has bad connotations doesn't mean it doesn't result in good things too. It's the entire cycle.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it.
I mean, you've asked before, so I don't want to not show you, because that would be unfair.
It would be super unfair. Hmm.
Like, for example, one of the things I use, I'll dance. And you just feel yourself shifting and transcending and moving. Another time, you take hold of her hand and give it this very intimate squeeze, like particularly reaching down and catching just in between the first finger and the thumb and kind of squeezing that little bit of skin in the bit, which is kind of has that nervous, like, ooh, you know what I mean? That
She
sensation.
gives like a bit of a tweak, a perk up.
You reach in for the ataxic part of your brain, you know what I mean? And it's rhythm.
It's hard to imagine that anything you do while dancing would be bad.
There are other things I do. I don't do them as severe as I used to.
It's severe.
Sometimes members of our tradition push ourselves, you know?
Well, the eyebrow kind of quirks a little.
Drugs. A lot of us take a lot of drugs.
Ah, that makes
It-
a certain amount of sense.
Pain is another one.
No scrunches.
Pain is life. It's part of it just as much as joy. It doesn't mean you have to like hurt. Lean forward. It doesn't mean you completely ruin your skin. No, that's the point. A tattoo. That's pain.
That's enough?
Have you ever had a tattoo in a bone before?
No.
It hurts like shit.
She grins.
And therefore you've reached the barrier of your mind, and then you use it to push that final step. Or I'd draw something. Meditate. That's what I've been into meditation a lot lately.
No. Good.
I mean, I calmed down a bit, so smirking.
She grins. Definitely preferable to some of the alternatives.
No, I don't do any of the heavy stuff anymore. I can't do it anymore. Smiling.
She picks up one of the hands and just, curves it around so she can kiss one of the knuckles. And it's funny because it's not like the classic move. It's literally just her kissing the closest knuckle.
I mean, you see how tattooed they are as well. Like, his tattoos everywhere.
I'm glad.
It took a bit. I used some magic, but I let my body heal the rest of it off.
I remember.
I don't know, seeing Kevin brought an urge again. I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? He gives the hand like up, like whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay,
Kind of all came back.
I'm glad you didn't.
I couldn't do that to you. Or Charlotte, I couldn't do that to any of you. No way. I'm not my father.
It's still, I mean, it's like any other addiction, right? It's not like it ever 100% goes away. So every time you do get the urge, she says this, very seriously, just a little head bob every time you do get the urge and you don't. It's kind of like winning all over again because that's one more time that you didn't.
I just think I held on to you the whole time we were talking to Kevin.
It's a little quirk of a grin. Like you get that cute little smile in the eyes expression. Aw.
I just. Do you ever feel guilty for running?
For running?
Yeah. Because technically, you ran.
Wait, you mean from New York?
Yeah. Do you ever
No.
feel guilty for running?
No. No, Sketch, that was so much bigger than us. That was enormous. And there were people who, I mean, Naomi was insane, but she was really powerful. And
I know.
all the things that were happening, and I didn't understand almost any of it. And I can do a lot, but I couldn't do that. And honestly, Catherine, I knew her for a while before you came around. And Catherine really felt responsible for the mages in New York. And she did so much and bent over backwards trying to get all of us to work together, trying to get us to solve the problem. And they wouldn't, so we couldn't.
I know.
So, no, we had to go. Because there's no point dying to prove a point.
I left a lot of good people behind. Out there.
Dublin?
Yeah. It was either that or I get scooped up and more likely executed.
And I'm glad you ran.
I had to. But I left. I left people behind.
She finally frees up one of the hands just to reach up and cup a cheek with it. Sketch, I remember the videos, and every time you sent me a picture, there were less and less people.
I know. But they were mine. You know?
Yeah. Did you try to bring any of them? Could you have? Was it even feasible?
No, we were all turning on each other by the end. People I could have brought. He doesn't say anything. There's that silence. It was a botched raid.
There was a what?
A botched raid. Tried to do things and strike back, and
That you did everything you could. I know you did.
yeah, of course I did.
you feel like you didn't?
If I did, they'd still be alive.
It's not necessarily true.
Don't worry about it. It's just some days it gets at you.
She rolls the lips in thoughtfully and finally, takes hold of both the hands again.
Just hearing Rain and Kevin just chat so fucking casually about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just played in my mind. That's all. I'm fine. You know.
I know.
Don't want to think I'm a big softy or anything.
What if I like you because you're a big softy?
I'm not falling apart or anything. It's just jarring.
I don't think you're falling apart. It's just. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with it just being a lot. I can only imagine the kind of fit I'd have if people from New York suddenly started showing up and talking about all the things that happened like it was nothing.
I didn't ask him about it. You know. So maybe a bad person for just not asking how did people make it.
No. It makes you someone who understands that sometimes not knowing means you can just hope.
No, I didn't want to ask.
Sorry, say again?
I didn't want to ask.
There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to. You don't need to feel like someone's judging you if you don't. Because in this house, she folds all of their hands together. The one that gets to judge you is me, and I think that's pretty reasonable. Firm nods.
Yeah, no. I mean, until I came back.
I mean, look at it this way: if you'd taken any longer, she kind of gives a little faint shrug. You wouldn't have been able to keep your promise.
Yeah, exactly. And like just out of habit, he might drop something. You know, as he reaches over and he jumps. Goes, whoa. You know what I mean? That his eyes always are on alert. He doesn't like completely flip the fuck out or any of that. No, it's not an overreaction. It's just that.
No, it's something like
alert.
a fucking, the
Yeah.
tiniest bump to the table means that like a spool of thread will fall on the floor, and it's not a loud noise, but it's enough to jolt him.
It's more his eyes are always just, you know what I mean?
My hand, again, she slithers one free, just so she can put it up and brush the cheek again. You're here now.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Like I said, just some days it's...
Some days it's harder than others.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of exercise, you know.
You do. I watch. I pretend I don't, but I do.
Meditation helps. And no, I've got you watching me smile.
She grins. It's a very cheeky smile.
I do a lot of meditating. That's helped a lot. Eating right, getting plenty of sleep. Don't smoke as much.
She finally draws back the hand on his cheek and just like touches the end of his nose. Even sleeping on a bed? Outrageous. Never
Still
thought
a
I'd
bit-
see the day.
Still a bit uncomfortable. Better than it was.
Still don't like knowing there's a space under you.
No one can hide in. It's just said so innocently. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, what was it?
Nowhere I can hide in.
You could relive being like a 5-year-old and hide under the blankets.
We didn't do that when we were 5. Smirking.
She. It's a very. Admittedly, it's an innocent smile because she understands that life was harder and different for him.
Used to get the pillows and the blankets, and there used to be a cupboard, and we'd bundle ourselves up in there and sit in the cupboard.
In the cupboard.
Yeah,
Some next level stuff.
of course. Nobody could see in the cupboard.
Maybe I should get a bed with a canopy. Or make a canopy.
Maybe.
I could make a canopy. And then you'd totally be hiding.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd just say it was romantic, but
I know. I'm pretty sure our dear old nanny will give out to us for not spending enough time. Even though I do more work with. You literally hear the grumble under the.
considering that she has to pretty much wrench Charlotte out of our cold dead hands every time she looks after her, I
Like
don't.
I said, she gives me one more. She gives me one more look about. You can see he doesn't get angry at you, and he doesn't snap off at you. No, not never. He just gets really angry, like really angry. You know, it's not like heightened aggression. I'm gonna punch you all. No, it's so indignant. The fact that in his mind, he thinks the nanny judges him.
I'll talk to her.
No, it's fine. No, Taylor, just puts on them. You don't need to fight my battles for me.
I mean, not trying to fight for you, just trying to fight with you.
Put a hand on her. It's fine. It's fine. Something you need to worry about.
That's. She kind of pauses for a second. That's our kid. And if she's going to treat you like she thinks that you're not good enough
Aye.
for the daughter that you're going to be here for, then I don't need her.
No, she's good. She is good. She's great. Just licks his lips slightly.
She may be good at her job, Sketch, but if she's not good to you, that's not good enough.
Yeah, but Charlotte's more important than me.
Charlotte will be taken care of either way. It would just be us.
I know, but we need the extra help. We do. Like, I know we're fucking, double action super team.
Yeah.
But we need a break every now and again as well.
The begrudging expression is so real.
And you know what? She talks down to me once more in front of Charlotte. You know what? I'll finally say something.
You should. It's not right.
Look, I know Rain gets bad rep. I know why she judges Rain. But, we've never brought anything around that baby. We never
No.
will. I don't appreciate the way she looks at us like we're going to. So when the time is right, I'll have a word. But not now.
Okay.
Like I said, got a job to do. That's more important. Don't want you all fussed. Don't want
I
me
will
all
get
fussed.
so fussed.
I know you will, and I'd rather not deal with that.
Tiny smirk.
So let's make sure the job is done, then we can come back and we'll sort it. Let's not go into something like this. You know what I mean? Just some days it just makes me angry, that's all. I thought, yeah, well, you asked me to talk, so kind of gets that
of
nervous,
course it
like,
does. Why wouldn't it? It's the most reasonable thing in the world to be upset about.
it's why I want to change things in the Cult of Ecstasy. I'm tired of that look.
She nods. I do.
Plus, besides, if we're going around traditions, people are going to ask what you are, and I will not have you looked at the way I am. Because I'm going to say one of ours.
What? She kind of
Yeah.
grins.
You're damn right. I don't care what fucking anyone says. You're one of ours. You may not, yeah, you are one of ours. Because you know what? If the rest of them can't accept you and the rest of them can't look at you the way I look at you, the way Rain looks at you, well, fuck them. Fuck them.
Very decisive.
Yeah.
Kind of grinning like, ooh.
Well, yeah. I mean, nobody taught you and nobody taught me but each other.
Yeah.
So I ain't leaving you behind just because you didn't exactly go through the right tradition initiations, all that fucking hibbledy-hobbledy shit. I think out of Rain and me, I'm the leading one out of our little ragtag group, so I say you're one of us, you're one of us.
It's a quirk of a smile.
What, do you think I wasn't going to do that?
I don't know what I thought, but I don't know. I'm not used to having to explain myself.
Then don't. You're just saying I'm with him. Or I'm a this. Simple. You need to explain yourself to nobody. There's a quirky little sketch grin, you know what I mean?
His quirky little smile back. You know, one might dare say I don't deserve you. I don't know. I just, what does it matter?
See?
If they cared so much what I was going to be, wouldn't they have stepped up and helped at all?
Well, I'll tell you now, madam. I have. So, you're one of us.
Hmm.
Your way of learning and doing magic may be different. Who gives a shit? You know?
I mean, isn't everyone's though?
Yeah, exactly. As long as you have the same core ideas, you and I could cast together, do whatever we want. You could learn it.
Finally leans
forward.
in.
You could learn it. Still keep your same methods. You could just learn how to react.
He leans in, she leans in, kind of making it, a soft teasing smile. And what are the core tenets, Sketch? What do I have to agree to get in on this this
Get in
train?
Don't be afraid. Not at the most time when you're most afraid. Just take hold of her hand and look up. Everything's so fragile anyway. Just finally look behind it.
That's the principle?
Everything is chaos. Everything changes and twists and turns. Everything. Fragile, broken, but yet so uncharacteristically beautiful. Just look between the cracks. And you'll see everything.
I don't know that I can say I've ever looked between the cracks.
You did with me.
I didn't have to look between the cracks to see you, Sketch. I just had to actually look at you and not look away.
Means forward. Looking between the cracks of a broken chantry to find the one thing in there that you thought was worth saving. I don't know about you, Taylor, but that sounds very ecstatic to me.
Does it? She's. It's an adorably sheepish smile.
Yeah. Pushing through those boundaries of pain, of fear, of rage, of injustice, to find the one thing worth saving. To push past that perception of what you think is in there, because you know something is worth saving in there. To me, that's one of the core principles of it. Just because it's not, hey man, let's get blazed. No. It's that ideology.
If the only requirement is being an idealist, I think I've got a pretty strong bid.
It's a start. Gotta start somewhere.
Does it matter how your magic works?
There'll be different ways you do it. There'll be different things you should learn how to do. But that'll come in time. Hey, I learned my things through fucking Catherine and all these people, and I still remain with the Cult of Ecstasy. You take
Yeah.
what people teach you, you twist it, you roll it, you hold it. As long as you remain, you reach over and like pat her chest very tenderly, very carefully, very intimately. And there, you. Then it all makes sense.
know, I bet it sounds stupid, but I've felt sometimes so lucky and sometimes so mad. Because at least someone knew how to teach you or tried to teach you. But I mean, I know if Catherine had known how, she would have tried. But nobody else did. And I've just been. She like gestures back towards the sewing machine of all things, figuring it out, mostly by accident. Sometimes by design, sometimes blowing up my sewing machine.
Wow. Sounds very chaotic to me. Just like the thinking pose, like,
I see you. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I see you.
Besides, got us now. Me, Rain. Especially me.
There's a little lean in the quirk of a smile. Especially you.
Well, of course. I think I've rightly laid claim to the boyfriend territory now. You know, did my alpha dominance display to Kevin go in this mine? Pats his bangs his chest like a gorilla.
She finally sits back with a smile. I dare say you did a very admirable job of
Damn right. Gotta put that old fire in line. Gotta let them know this mine.
because you know there's nothing that says take me like a middle-aged man.
Just making
Grinning.
sure. You know, gotta defend my, postures himself up to puff. You know what I mean? Laughing. Like, you can see he's chuckling, looking over at you.
She's trying not to laugh and she's failing.
I gotta make sure, I put on my deep voice and everything.
Oh, your manly voice. Gotta go with extra manly.
Yeah, you like it.
I mean, if you want to be really manly, you might have to find a way to like violently and abruptly start sweating or something.
Oh yeah, I'll do it when I work out. I'll just strip off in front of you. Be like, hey,
Oh,
what's up? Look at this sweat. Hey, right in front of Rose and everything. Smirking.
she'd have a heart attack and I'd die laughing.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, not that she'd actually die. I'd feel kind of bad, but
No, jeez, sketch. No, just that you would, because you would do it
oh yeah, I don't care.
with no hesitation.
I'll put on the soundtrack and everything.
Just throws a little look like, why are you like this? So, how are you feeling now?
Better. Still
Now
have
that we've
my
determined that you can violently sweat on command, which is a
Mhm.
critical life skill, really.
still got my things, but I don't think about them as much when we're goofing around.
Well, I know you said it's been a while. And pulls her chin up a little bit. I trust you. If you want a chance to, it seems silly to call it practice, but I trust you.
All right. Follow me. Take her by the hand.
Yeah, the eyebrows, tip up just the tiniest bit because she thought maybe he'd protest. she just kind of gets up and lets him just lead her along by the
Yeah,
hand.
you got the impression consent is given. You know what I mean? It's that literally. That's how simple he is about it. You know what I mean? It's like, you want to do this? Okay. You lead her into the room, and he'll splay out things in the living room floor. Reach over to the stereo. I'll put this on.
Oh boy, we got a specific song for this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one.
Close your eyes.
Uh,
Close your eyes. He takes out both of their hands. It's important. Got to feel the music.
not because he's like moving things around and setting them out, and she's not sure if this is one of those things where she needs to does she need to get on the fainting couch? What's going on? But he tells her to close her eyes and finally
Puts her
more
in-
firmly the second time, and
Yeah, he puts her in the set. It puts her in the center of the room, so she's literally the focal point. That's what you notice.
yeah, she by the second assurance goes ahead and nods and just calmly closes the eyes, and as he reaches out and takes a hold of the hands, you'll feel the little curl of the fingers, just the reassurance that he's there and she's got a hold of him.
All right, so I'm gonna drop a willpower. I've got my personal. He'll take out a necklace, which is his personal vokai, which reduces the diff, and we're gonna roll for grand style. I forgot, why did I put a hashtag? All right, so that's 2 successes. So what Taylor start feeling as the music kicks in, you know those really good memories of like when you were like when she was younger, went to all the bars and all that, and you just cut loose. That first time you got drunk, the first time you danced, at like prom. You know what I mean? The careless, reckless abandon. You know what I mean? It all just
It'll
floods up. It's like starts at her feet and then just literally begins to flood up her body.
Is it something he's perceiving, or is it just an effect he's doing to her?
Just to you. It's like he's literally as the music begins to go, it's like imagine this like kind of weird pins and needles feeling going up your body.
All right, is she standing, sitting?
Yeah, standing with like holding onto his hands. That's where he put her. And I'm gonna roll again to maximize it. Oh yeah, oh Jesus. That's 3 with the willpower spend. So in total, he's pumping that all into 2 in duration and 2 in effect. So it's Charlotte.
Tay gets the Wiggins.
It imagine that feeling as the music begins to pick up pace. Imagine that kind of slow. You know what I mean? You just start. You just. I mean, I'm not gonna. He's not gonna make it like increase her libido or anything like that. If anything, is to increase her happiness, her carefree abandon about things. That tension in her shoulders, that strain of having to stay up all night looking after a baby. You know what I mean?
It's funny because I mean the memories he's pulling up, it's the sensations more than anything else, which naturally are, even as we speak, being kind of thoughtlessly attached to the music.
The first, like for example, the first time they probably kissed, even just dancing or even just being silly, those type of things. Nothing to increase sexual attraction, but more sensual, more happiness. Everything about joy.
She doesn't even, it's not a conscious thing, but she won't be able to help starting to kind of initially at the very beginning just kind of sway a bit just because, oh, this is nice. This is really nice. She'd probably get bouncier, but with the eyes closed, she can't tell where the coffee table is right now. She can't tell where anything is. So she does keep the eyes closed, but it's that big, almost angelic, just, oh, that smile.
And we'll roll one more time because we're going to forget about the coffee table if this goes right. Yeah, one more success is all he needs. And by that point, I'm going to say you don't care anymore. You know what I mean? There is just such an abandon.
Would she even care about keeping her eyes closed anymore?
No, not really.
Just gonna reel back this music.
You might care. You might close your eyes just to enjoy the sound of it. You know what I mean? But otherwise, no.
It's just one of those things where if it's gleeful enough abandon, she's not opening her eyes to look around. She just opened them to look at him.
He's
Just with that big smile.
You can tell he's concentrating. He's probably mumbling a few things, and you know what I mean, keeping hold of you and spinning you, turning you. You know what I mean?
So he's able to dance even with his eyes closed.
Yep, it's one of his foci, for matter.
Yeah, she realizes, you know what, if he can do it, she can too. And just closes the eyes again. And yeah, happily dances with him around the living room. Here's hoping he pushed the furniture far enough.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, definitely.
He knows what's happening.
And eventually, this like will last for about 2 hours. And after the 2 hours, you just feel this. You know, you sit down and then almost like lie down. You know, your back goes against his. You just, you know, hold on to his. You thump back down on the couch. You see?
There's the big. Again, it's just such a big smile. It's very open. It's very innocent. She looks back over their shoulder at him and just pulls his arms that much more around her in the hug. And truth be told, she'll probably lean back, and he's a tall motherfucker at this point, so it's more likely that she'll end up kissing like the bottom of his chin, but it's just a peck. Just like some attempt to thoughtlessly share the joy.
Yeah, would you like to end the scene there, Katie?
I will.
Things will happen.
Things. Very well. Then with things in the offing, we will end it here.